Good morning, everyone. So today our adventure is going to the Fabric Cafe Quilts in a Jiffy. We will be doing Ashford Square, which is right there. And here's a bigger blow up of it. Right there. Okay, so the line we're using is called The Barnyard. Oh no, not The Barnyard, The Backyard by Sarah Watts from Ruby Star Society. That is what we're using. I came across this line and I thought it was just so darling. In my backyard, as you know, I have chickens, right? And my chickens and my next door neighbor's cats live together. They live together in harmony. It's funny, I have pictures with the cat sitting like in the middle of my lawn and the chickens all around just kind of sitting with it. So my cats and, well, not my cats, but my neighbor's cats and my chickens just live in harmony. It is the cutest thing. So when I saw that she had chickens in her line, right, we have that one and we have this one here that I'm using. So I'm using 2 half-yard cuts. I only got so much fabric I had purchased. So I had 2 half-yard cuts, the black and this. And then I did get a yard of this. Look at that. That's going to go beautifully. And look, kitty cats, cute little kitty cats. I love them. So, I had to put the cats and the chickens together. So we are going to make Ashford Square, and let's start with the tutorial. I have all my pieces cut already, just to save time. And we are going to take one of our squares cut to size, and the other one, and I am going to put them right sides together. And because they're kind of big, I am going to, I need to make sure which way these kitty cats are going. So when I'm doing the half square triangle for this, I want to see and do like a trial run how my kitties are going to sit, right? So in this block, let's see, I want to see how my kitties are going to sit. I actually have some done. I just want them all to match. So my kitties will be like, that's a square that I already made. So yes, so the kitties, see when you look, this is the way the kitties will look, because this somewhat has a direction. And this is a good tip. If you have somewhat of a directional fabric, because the kitties are tossed, but they're tossed up and down, not sideways. You want to kind of audition how your HST is going to turn out. So I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that matches. So I'm going to make sure, now this one is tossed, so this one doesn't matter. I'm going to make sure that my kitties are going the right way. So my line has to go this way. And this is what I'm going to do. Instead of drawing a line, right, I'm going to go ahead and actually mark it with the iron. Normally I draw a line, right? So we're going to iron this, yes, or press it. And we are going to take back this square and we are going to press a seam into it, right? We're going to press a line into it. And that is what I'm going to use as my guide. And from there, I'm going to sew on both sides of that crease that I just made with the iron. Now this is a big square, so I'm going to give it a little bit more pinning. You do not have to. You do you. I don't judge. Quilting is all about feeling free, having fun, and especially not worrying what the police out there are going to say. No popos on this channel. So, well, there may be one or two. too that are subscribers. But at least this quilting, I'm not the quilting police. I can't talk about anybody else. But I must say, you peeps are absolutely lovely, lovely, lovely to me. Very gracious, very kind. Your comments are just so heartwarming sometimes. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. So as you can see, I made my crease. We're going to do that. These are big enough. I mean, when they're tiny, it's a little, I mean, you can do it when they're tiny too, but I'm finding this is going to be easier. So I've set my machine a 1/4 inch or scant 1/4 inch, and we are going to now sew on both sides of that crease that I just made. And I hope I did that right. Before I cut, I will double check that my kitties are going in the right direction. I have one. And because I'm using black thread, you can actually see it today. Normally we can't see it because I'm using white. But we have pretty dark fabric today, so I didn't want white peeking through. And the other side. And we have this and that side. Now I'm going to pull out all my pins. And I'm going to double check that my kitties are going the right way, in which they are. See? They're going up and down. Over here, we're going to check the kitties again before we cut, just in case if we have to bring Jack out. I hope not. Don't want to bring Jack out. Yep, the kitties are going the right way. All right, so we have that. And now I'm going to, these are kind of big, so I'm going to take my square, and you can use scissors, but I'm actually going to cut this with my rotary cutter. And I am currently in my rotary cutter, I'm currently using those fabric cut blades, in which I love. And if I remember, I'll drop the code down, because if you use my link, you get a special price of $37.50 instead of $75 for 10. So that's not too bad. I'm still using them. Now I am going to press to the dark side. You press however you like. Fabric Cafe in their, let's see, in their directions. Sometimes they have you press these open. And let's see what it says. I'll let you know. Nope, it doesn't say. So I press to the dark on these. Sometimes you can get away with that, and sometimes you do have to press open. But this is a pretty big, fast block quilt. So you can make this pretty quick, this quilt. And here we are. And there we are. So we have ours. Now what we need to do is we need to trim down these blocks to the specified size. And here I'm going to have it here so you can see. Here's the block. I have my Omni Grid ruler, and there's a diagonal line on that. So I'm going to go to the diagonal line. I'm going to find my measurement, and I am just trimming off the very, not too much. Now, this is a rotating mat, so I could rotate this, right? And then take off these and come in here and find my measurement. And what's nice is I feel we could almost scrap up this 3-yard quilt if we really wanted to, right? Because we can. Because I love scrapping up 3-yard quilts. This one today, though, this one has kind of a line that I'm using, and therefore it's not being scrapped up. But I did have a live just recently in which I scrapped up a 3-yard quilt, and it came, I think it came out pretty nice. All right, so you come in. I'm just using an old-fashioned ruler. I mean, you know, square ruler, nothing fancy. Being that it is a big HST, I don't think they make trim it tools this big. So I have 2 more. I think this is what you're going to spend the most of your time in this quilt, is just trimming up these blocks. And really, there's not much to trim off. So, I didn't cut that all the way. I better bring that. There we are. And then I'm just going to rotate this block instead of moving it. And I come in again and look for, oh, that's it. That's why I can't find it. There we go. I am looking here, and then looking at where my diagonal lie or lays, however you want to say it, to make sure that it's all good. And my last one. So you are making a lot of these. It will tell you in the book exactly how many you are going to make. And depending on what size, because in the books, they have sizes all the way up to a king queen. So really, here we are. I'm going to move this here. Really, you're just going to look up how many blocks you need, and we're going to go for it. Oops. I was wondering what was up, why it was looking a little strange. And here is the size. And this goes down. And now we look at the diagonal, and everything is good. So we're just going to go across. Well, it'd be helpful if I actually followed the roundabout. Excuse me. So now we have all these trimmed. We're going to set those aside. You have made all of them at this point. We're going to set. Next, we're going to make strip units. So we are going to take our specified width of fabric strip right here. Excuse me. And we are going to take with the fabric strip here. And what I like to do, and this is my preference, you do not have to do this, I open it up. I find that seam that's in the center, right? When we fold the fabric. And I just kind of put them all off. And I come in and press. I press that before I do this strip. And you know what? While I'm here, I might as well just press and iron the rest of the strip so I have it nice and straight and clean and flat. Here we are. Because sometimes fabric gets wrinkled. All right, so we have that. Now we are going to take our strip and we're going to put a strip on both sides. So we have this one here. I'm going to line it up to the best we can. And we are going to 1/4 inch all the way down. And then I'll show you how we're going to cut up this unit and put it together to make our blocks. Just going to take a moment. You just take your time. You're not stretching. You're just guiding the fabric right through. And take the other one and we're going to take it to the other side. But as you can see, you see how there's a little bit here? I just come in and eyeball it to the same spot right here. Yep. And we just are going to go with it. And here we are. Now with those little black chickens that I showed you, was like a black background with chickens. I'm going to show you what I did with that. That I do wish after putting this kind of together that I had bought a yard of that, and I'll tell you why. It's because it's a directional fabric. And the way it's going to be laid on the quilt, I've cut it a certain way. Which you don't have to do. You could just use the fabric as is with the fabric, just how you had it. But you'll see what I'm talking about. Once I do this, we'll go right to the design wall where I have most of this quilt done. All right. So now we have our strip set. So now what we need to do is we need to press this strip, and I again press to the dark. So I set in my seam and then I come in and press to the dark. But I'm going to continue setting in my seam all the way. This would be easier at my ironing station, but I'm here. We're going to make it work. So I come in and I open. I help to keep it straight. Oops. Open. Here we are. Not open. I press it to the dark, but I help it with my hand to open up. There we go. Now we're going to go to the other side. Same thing. I guide it with my hand open. And many people have different techniques on how they do this. Sometimes I have different techniques, depends on the day, honestly. And here we are. So we have that. Now we have our strip set. Here it is. And now we need to cut it. So we have this here. I'm going to start on this side. And I am going to use my square ruler. I'm going to line it up on the one line. And hopefully they match, right? So that that's telling me I did a good job in getting this together. I'm going to awkwardly cut that. And then I'm going to look. And in here, they give you diagrams. And I'm going to look at the diagram. And they also give you words, but, you know, gives you instructions. And it's telling me what to cut it at. So I'm going to double check again. Yes. So I'm looking at this here. And, let me see something. Let me look again. So I'm just making sure that the width of this is the width, what it should be. Now, let me see something. Sometimes it does make a difference in how to press. Let me see something. Out of curiosity, sometimes I find if you press open, let's see if we're getting it. I'm just shy of what it should be. So either my seam is not the exact 1/4 inch, but I have a feeling I know what it is. I went ahead and used black thread, but I had Affilate thread, but I only had enough for the bobbin. And then the top, I used my quilting thread, which is a heavier weight thread, which means it takes a little bit of your seam allowance, believe it or not. So yes, so that's another trick. So I'm going to show you another trick. So being that I did, and I'm just off just a hair, by opening up the seam, I had just given myself more space. Believe it or not, go figure, right? That you're going to give yourself a little bit more, but I did. So I'm going to go ahead and open this all the way. And I knew when I put that thread in that I may have some issues. Because I did the half square triangles, I was trimming them to size. It didn't affect that. So how I know is the next, because I have to make 2 of these strip sets, the next strip set, I'm just even going to do more than a scant. So normally I sew with 50, right? 50 weight. And I think that's what Affilate is, 50. And instead I have Coates and Clark from Joann's, because I ran out of black, which is not a big deal because I don't sew a lot with black, but it's a 30 weight. So it definitely took some of my seam allowance. All right, so here we go. I pressed it open, see? And by doing that, I gave myself a little bit more wiggle room. Little trick. So now, yes, we are where we're supposed to be. That makes me so happy. And, oh, no, I don't want to cut there because that's not the measurement. The measurement is right here. That's the measurement. So I'm going to cut to, oh, I'm not cutting all the way through. That's the second time I've done that. All right, so we're coming to the measurement that I need. And I'm just looking to see that everything is measured. And there we are. I'm only going to do 2. so that we can make the block. I'm going to come in here because I did not cut, and I have this, yes. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut what I need from here. Let's do. Sorry, this video is getting to be a little long-winded. But as you know, I do not edit. I give you how it is. I give you as if you're in the sewing room trying to figure this out for the first time for yourself. So here we are. We have our piece. I know this is bigger than what this needs to be. I just am conserving fabric. This is the end pieces of what was left when I cut for the half square triangles. And I knew I had a little, so instead of cutting another, it tells you how many to cut of width of fabric. I'm just using that little scrap piece that I knew I had before I start cutting in. It's how I save. It's my economical way of conserving fabric. Alright, and I'll just trim it to size. Not a big deal. And it will tell you in the book what size this square, after you're done here, should measure. Actually, in the instructions, it just has you take a width of fabric and just sew these blocks on and then cut them apart. So and here we are, the next one here. And then we're going to go to the design wall after. Excuse me. Come in here, and now we are going press to the dark. Let's see. Oh, how cute. I loved how this chicken is framed. It's so adorable. All right. Going to open this here. So just know sometimes when sewing, different things will affect your block size, and one definitely is the thread count you're using, right? It's a good thing that I had some Aurifil for the bobbin at least, because that is nice and thin. And we'll come over here, and there we are. There we are. Perfect. Come in here. Again, we are going to take our and we're just trimming. We have perfect size of where it should be on the block. There we are. And this one, and we're measuring to make sure we are supposed to be where we're at, and we are. That's locked pin, and now we're coming here and doing the same. So once you check all your blocks, right, so that they're the right size, then we are cooking with gas because it makes our construction and assembly better. So there we are. And now let's just go to the design wall. Let's see what I'm talking about. As all you can see is my dress. I am moving the camera. Sorry. I need a camera set up. I have to save up for that one. I keep saying that. So this will go in to these spaces right here. As you can see. See? So I've got my chickens. They're hanging around with their friends, the kitty cats, in the lovely, I don't know, these almost look like dandelion. They're like these little puffs. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Now, when I talked about this chicken, so when you have the width of fabric goes like this, right? And I did not want the chickens going this way. I wanted the chickens going this way. So what I did is, this is when I wish I had a yard. I took my half yard and cut the strips on this end. And then I will piece them so that the chickens go this way. And then the rest of this, I will just cut this, and then the chickens will be going the correct way. Some will be going upside down because that's just the nature of the fabric. But I will have some going this way and some going that way. So I hope this makes some sense to you all. I know you've seen some mistakes. You've seen some crazy camera footage. And you've seen my wild creation of how I did this. So I will have enough of this fabric to have an H thing. And in the book, you would use like this fabric maybe for the outside. And I'm using this chicken border. If you notice here, really close to here, is that really this pink. So that's why that is entering the picture. And I'm pleasantly happy with it. I mean, I like it. You let me know what you think. But yeah, backyard. This is my backyard. Kitty cats and chickens. So everyone have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Pass it forward. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. And as usual, I'll be finishing this up on a live. So see you soon. Bye.